Welcome back to another episode. In last week's episode, we got the motor ready to go in the car. In this episode, we need to get the car ready for the motor, which means getting the harness swapped from dual point fuel injection to multi-point fuel injection. But before we get to any of that, we gotta clean this car out. Because as you can see, I have used it for storage for the past couple of years. So I need to go through it, see what I need to keep, because I think there's parts for the blue wagon in it, and then the rest of it is probably junk from when I first got the car. So we need to get that handled first. Then we'll dive into getting the harness that we pulled from the SI, figuring out what we actually need to get this multi-point fuel injection harness to actually work with the car. I pulled all of this just in case we needed the whole thing, but I'm pretty sure there's only a couple of things we need to change for this plug and then the plug over here, which it's been a long time since I looked at all that. So we'll dive into that again after we clean the car out. Told Justin to play some music and he plays this crap. Hate country. God bless. For the record, I do like country, like Tyler Childers or, you know, something good, but not some of this stuff. Especially not this, yeah, this country. So, pro tip, if you don't know, if your shocks aren't working on your hatchback, just get a little vice grip, put it all the way up, a little clamp, and we're good. So, looks like we have a carpet, which I'm pretty sure that's the carpet for the wagon, so don't need to throw this away. We need to figure out where to store it though. I got a stick to beat Justin's ass next time I play some weird shit. And this thing still has all the spare tire equipment in here. This thing was probably a nice vehicle before it blew up. Alright, we got a car cover, which I'm pretty sure that is trash now. Oh, what is this? Heater core. Probably for the Civic as well. Blower motor with the attached controls. Alright, these go in the car. So stuff for the car we can throw in the back. I don't care about that. I don't know what that is. So door cards definitely go in the back. Window trim, back. Distributor cap, we'll put that in the front for now. Oh my dear God. Rat turds, nice. What is this, window trim? On the back. Dizzy can go in the front for now. Belts go in the front. What is this, plexiglass? What the hell is this for? Alright, we need to vacuum this disgustingness out next. And for the front, we have a lot of engine parts that they took off when they were trying to diagnose the car. We will take everything out, throw it on the table over there, and kind of go through it, see what we have left, and then vacuum this part. Then we should have a good, clean car enough to work in. Oh, you like it?
One bite, everyone knows rules. Yeah, I don't know how to talk to this girl without saying something about
Hold on. Alright, so we got the distributor, crankshaft pulley, some bolts, some belts, not bolts, some NGK spark plug large, which is good, transmission, flywheel cover, the back intake bracket, another belt. These are good to have, the intake covers, the timing belt covers, some random nuts and bolts, but we do have this very nice valve cover that I might swap out since this one looks all OE. Kind of clean off that. AC bracket. The most interesting thing was this. This is an old school cruise control. So looks like it was in the car at least, so they've cut it out. I'm assuming I don't have the mechanism that was in the car to pull the cable, but we'll see. I need to dive more, but this is awesome. If I can find everything, I've been wanting to put cruise control on the right-hand drive, so hopefully I have everything. Pretty cool piece. But we got everything out of here now. We have vacuumed, and this thing is going to be an awesomely clean car. I'm excited. But inside here, we do have this Panasonic radio, which I don't think they came stock with, so that's interesting. It is like old, like cassette old, so cool retro piece. So I guess now we need to finally dive into getting all this old dual point fuel injection harness out, get this one swapped in, and then see what we need to do about these pin connections and see if we need to actually dive in and replace the chassis harness. So let's get it. So update, we have gotten the harness out, we compared each other. We will be missing this plug, which should be for the fuel injectors, those. And then on the other side, so this is the passenger side, and then this is the driver's side. We are missing this, which should be the resistor box for the fuel injector. So I think it's just gonna be easier to pull this whole harness, put this guy in there, throw the dash out. I mean, I've done it 3 times now, so it should be pretty easy to get this dash out. What I am running into now is that I've gotten almost all the harness out on the passenger side, but I'm missing this one right here, which is in the windshield wiper washers. So I've got to remove the bumper to try to get to it. It's pretty easy to get these bumpers off. You just got some screws here. You gotta take the corner, you gotta take the turn signal lights off, and then there is 2 10 millers in there, and then there might be some stuff at the bottom you gotta get disconnect to. Most of the time that stuff's already gone. Let's get the bumper off. Okay, so this little wire, wait, no, this wire back here is the one I needed, but it looks like we're grabbing all this stuff. Don't know what's going back there. Oh, it's this light. Okay, so we've got horn, this light, so this needs to come out. All this is a little Phillips head right there, then you pull it out like this. So looks like I might have to take this out, just like a 10, probably another 10 somewhere else. This is the air box, not the washer box. The windshield washer box is on this side, obviously. So we got the corner light off, and everything looks normal, right? But if you look a little bit closer, that is electrical tape. And if we can see inside that hole, let's see if I can get the focus. Possibly. There's a spade connector in there. So I don't know what happened to the actual connectors. Hopefully that harness has it. It's kind of sketchy, but alright. So we got all the harness off for the passenger side. It is ready to be pulled through. So we got the harness ready to go, ready to be pulled out through the firewall. Next, I'm going to remove this brake master and the booster. As you can see, it is disgusting anyways, and it'll be a lot easier to have this out of the way to help pull the harness through. So we're gonna spray a little bit of PB Blaster on these connections. Hopefully it doesn't fight me too bad. Nice. Yeah, both of these did not fight me at all. They loosened up really good. Should be good to take this guy out. Oh, it's gonna be glued, I bet. Oh yeah. All right. We need some persuasion. There we go. Yeah, she was definitely rust glued on there. Nice. So to remove this crusty thing, there is 4 nuts on the other side of the firewall you gotta remove, and then we also got to disconnect the brake pedal from this as well. To remove the brake pedal, there is a little cotter pin we have to remove. It is right there. All these wiring. All these wires in my way. It's right there. It should be able to follow the pedal up. So you remove that cotter pin and then you push the pin itself out, and then this will be free. And that is what the cotter pin and pin itself looks like. To remove the actual brake booster, there's a nut right here and then there's a nut above it. Then on the other side, you'll have the same thing and kind of the same pattern, but it's behind this steering column. So let's get those out. I did have a realization when we were pulling the brake booster and everything was I've got to do the pedal assembly, convert that to manual, which means dash has to come out anyway, so might as well do the harness the easy way. I was going to record and Leia was like, all right, I'm getting in here real quick. So we got all 3 dogs out here today. I'm gonna start doing this on Saturday so we don't wake up the baby every time we go inside. So to get the dash out, we need to get both these seats out. Makes it a little bit easier to work on everything. Need to go ahead and take that center console out and all that. So let's get to it. Let's get these seats out, get some more room, and then start on the dash. I always do this wrong, which I think wrong in my eyes. So I always try to take it off here instead of taking it off at the other side and pulling them through. So hopefully this is a lot easier to put back in and I don't break this like I have done in the past. So next we need to remove all the HVAC stuff and also the carpet, and that'll give us complete access to the cabin harness to do the swap. And with a little YouTube magic, we'll get it all done. And just like that, we got it all out, all the carpet, all the HVAC stuff. Put the carpet over there on top of the parts wagon, and then all the HVAC stuff's right there. Also, this is my first time removing the steering column when doing something like this in an EF. It's actually pretty easy. It's just one 10mm bolt right there, and it looks like it already has its own kind of alignment jig. There's a flat spot where that bolt should go, but I paint marked just in case. So the next plan of action is I'm gonna go ahead and remove these pedal assembly as well, since we are converting it to manual. And then we've got to get this firewall sound deadening stuff out. Then a couple of little straggler stuff, and then we should be good to start taking out this harness. Boom. No more sound deadening. I got it out. I actually saved almost all of these, minus this side, which was already haggard by someone else. So I feel pretty good because I've destroyed a lot of these in the past and I feel bad about it, but we're trying to do good. We're trying to do everything right here. That's probably one of the reasons why these does take a little bit longer on my videos, because I am trying to do it right and not rush. We also got the ECU out while we were doing that. The crusty PM5. We also removed this box which is right here. I'm pretty sure it is the control module for the automatic transmission, but if you know for sure, leave down in the comments, let me know. And we are finally out. Yay. Now, let's compare the two, see if we can make it work without cutting anything and splicing and soldering and all that stuff. So after studying both the harnesses, I think it's gonna be easiest to open up the multi-point fuel injection cabin harness and pull out the multi-point fuel injection wires. I think they all should be going to this ECU plug. It should be less wires than trying to get this one to work with this car, and I'll explain that. So inside the wagon you have two runs. The first one is this, which I've already cut up and taken out all the automatic stuff. You got this plug right here that chills up here, and then you got another one right there. Those mainly distribute the power here for the automatic seat belts, and then also some other little things. And for the hatchback, this is a sub harness that runs inside the car that connects to the cabin harness, and there's only one plug, which is this guy right here. So to make the multi-point fuel injection harness out of the hatchback work for the wagon, it's going to be a lot more headache trying to get those sub harnesses connected, which is why, again, I think we can just do the multi-point fuel injection stuff, get it stripped out of this harness, and then put it into that harness. And yes, this is probably a little ass backwards than, you know, the normal way of people doing a multi-point fuel injection swap, but I think in the long run this will probably look a lot better. It'll look more OE being all up in the same harness. So in my mind, I think this is the best way, and also it gives me practice for when we do this car over here. I've got the same thing going on. All the harnesses are taken apart. They need to be rewrapped, and there's a couple things I want to throw inside the harness before rewrapping. So this is good practice. Might as well do it while everything's out. So where I'm at so far is this is the passenger side. On both harnesses I have stripped it all the way to the ECU plugs, then all the way to the driver's side plug, which both these plugs go into the engine harness. This is the multi-point fuel injection. This is the dual point fuel injection driver's side plug. As you can see, the multi-point one has less wires than the dual point. And 4 of these wires are the injector wires, and then the other 4 I do not know. But I do know that 3 of them I can find on this plug, and there's one that I cannot find, which is this blue one. So I'm assuming this blue one probably goes back to here, hopefully, but we've got to dive into that. So since we are going to be using the dual point fuel injection cabin harness, which is the factory one that was in this car, I need to go ahead and pull out all this dual point fuel injection junk, get it out of the harness, and then in doing so we can track down the ones that match over here, and then also we need to dive inside this one and track down where the blue one goes. So where I'm at currently is I have this plug fully removed and this plug fully removed from the multi-point fuel injection harness, which is that right there. Those 2 plugs on the actual engine harness is this plug right here, which I'm pretty sure this is for all the distributor pickups, and then this plug over here, which should be for all the fuel injection stuff. This plug goes to a resistor box, which sits in the engine bay, so has nothing to do with the actual cabin harness, so we didn't have to pull that one off. Before we get these 2 harnesses put into the dual point fuel injection harness, there is 4 wires we have to figure out. So there is this yellow black, and then this black yellow. These 3 are going all throughout this harness, which I don't need. I only need it to go to here and right here, and that'll match the multi-point fuel injection stuff. So I've got to trace these back. I'll probably grab the one out there, put it in here so there's no soldering cut connections. The next one is this. So this black yellow, it goes all the way over here on the other side of the harness to this little plug, which is that guy right there. And on this harness, that wire is black and it just gets grounded inside the engine bay. So we're going to do the same thing, is trace that all the way back, get those 2 swapped out, and then we should be good to put that in the harness. So there's all that wire out of the dual point fuel injection harness. And then I got the multi-point fuel injection wires installed for the yellow black. And I still need to like run it and everything. Then I got this side all figured out. This is that black wire from the multi-point fuel injection harness. Also went down kind of a rabbit hole and had to take this guy out. And then what else? Oh, wait. Where's it at? This guy. I had to get this one, which ran down here and split off into two. This black and then this black red. The black red went to this guy, and you can tell right there I split the grommet to get this wire out, and then it runs back to this guy. So the issue was there was no free ports, so I kind of had to grab everything from the multi-point, put it on here. I am still not ready now to put this in yet. There is some stuff that I want to fix on this harness, like right here. They had vampire clips onto these connectors. Need to get those swapped out with what was on there. And these look like it's for the fuel relay, I think. And one of them's going back here to the ECU, which is not needed. So I'm gonna pull that one out, and then I need to kind of go through this plug, these two plugs. So this is to the back harness for all like the fuel pump and lights and everything. Also the selector for the auto. And there is a handful of wires that I don't need anymore, and I kind of just want to take them out of this harness and clean it up. So let's dive into that. Let's see what we do not need. So back in the car for the rear end of the cabin harness, we had to add this main relay. Also this right here is for the clutch switch. And this connector was already here, but this is the one that connects to the plug on the main harness that has the vampire clips on. So all of this should be good to go, minus this pin right here, which I've tracked down with all my parts cars around here. And this is for the reverse lights, which used to go to the center where the auto, where that thing was, where the auto selector was. Now it's not long enough to reach here. So I could probably grab that wire from the blue hatch that's all wrecked in the front, but I don't know if I want to go through that headache just for one single wire. So I think I will be okay with cutting one and soldering one just to make this work. But that would finish the harness for the rear end of the car. With that being said, there's a lot of wires inside this plug for all the auto stuff, and I don't think I'm going to try to take that out either, because that's another headache that I really don't want to dive into. So I think we're finally ready to put all of this back into the harness and finalize this to put it back in the car. So the harness is ready to go. I think I've gotten everything from the old multi-point harness back into the dual point harness. I think I've removed everything that I need to remove from the dual point harness. So where I'm at now is I want to put the harness in the car, also get the engine in the car, get the harness on it, plug everything up, and then maybe get it cranked over, make sure everything is working, make sure the fuel pump's cutting on, all that stuff, and then take it back out, wrap it, and make it look all pretty. Alrighty, so we got it all ran. We got this side ran, we got the ground, we got this ground over here, got it connected to the battery, got it connected to the fuse box, got all the fuses I need in there. I threw the dash in, got the gauge cluster, fuse box inside here, and I think I've got everything connected that needs to be connected. I also got the main relay. ECU's plugged in, so let's give it a go. Okay, got lights. So it's trying to start. Let's see if this main relay is starting. Alright, so we got the main relay. I am not hearing the fuel pump, but off to a good start. So, as you can see, we have made some progress since that last clip. I decided to put the motor in the car, hook everything up, and see if at least the starter will kick over from the key. That'll at least make it feel better that I've done that right, and then we can dive back into the fuel pump issue. So let's get this battery hooked up, and let's see if this thing will crank over. Alright, we should have power up in here now. Yep. Sorry for that beeping, but let's see. So at least we did that right. We can crank the motor over with the key. Like I said earlier, we still need to go back and figure out the fuel pump issue. Hopefully it's just some wires I mixed up, or maybe the fuel pump itself is just bad from sitting for so long. We also should probably drain the gas if we do end up trying to crank this over. But I think going forward is try to figure that out, and at least get this thing to fire up. Make sure it can do that before we take it back out and clean up that harness. I'm in the video right here. I'm sure this video is all over the place because it took me probably 3 months to make it, just working on other stuff in life. You know how it goes. But I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like. Think about subscribing. I'll see you next one. Peace.